Hi, Patrick here. I have Cheetah Will View, and it's Tuesday. And if it's Tuesday, that could only mean one thing. It must be Library Day. And it is. It is Library Day. And today was bag sale. So, so I got a few books, but I know you guys aren't here for the books. So I got some nonfiction books. Nothing really special. Maybe the Brian Cox story. That's about it. Uh, but I know you guys are here for the movies, so let's get into it. Um, Good news is the library delivered a little bit for us. Uh, we got four. We actually got four movies and an upgrade, and so let's get into that. So I upgraded from DVD to Blu-ray with Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. So I explained this many times before that a lot of the times the library will drop off a DVD first and a Blu-ray behind it. But you can't rest on that. You have to get when you get. Like I got this already on DVD, but I couldn't just assume that it was going to be released on Blu-ray as well because many times it doesn't happen that way. Many times, especially the last 18 months or so, whatever they put out, it's pretty damn rare to get a follow up behind it. So, but I am glad I got this on Blu-ray. All right, next up is a movie from my favorite studio in the whole wide world. You guys know how much I love these guys. Uh, you guys are all cracking up at this, I'm sure. So the movie I got, the next movie I found and I picked up is from A24, and it is Civil War. Civil War. Now, I admit initially when I heard this was coming out, last summer, I was a little bit apprehensive about it. Because the way our country is, it's rather alarming to think that people are actually talking about Civil War here in real life. And so when I saw this movie come out, and going like, this is what we don't need. We don't need anything stoking the fires. Luckily, though, Alex Garland delivered a pretty subpar movie that both sides didn't like too much. Was not a big hit for on either side, um, and it just wasn't a very good movie from what I'm understanding. But for only a quarter, I wasn't gonna pass it by. Plus for the chance to sit there and say, now next from my favorite studio in the whole wide world, so you guys can crack up over that. Um, I I hope it's better than I heard. I have not really heard anybody really get behind this movie. It, I heard a lot of people have apprehensions about it, and then when it came out, they were like, "Well, that's it. That's all you got. This is it." Oh well, on one half, thank you. So making it not really, volatile, but it's also not a very good movie. So I guess we're relatively safe. So next up, we got Furiosa, a Mad Max story, right? A saga. I've heard mixed emotions about this one as well. Um, I heard it was okay. Um, it's the origin stories of Furiosa that we got introduced on Fury Road. It was played by Charlize Theron, and this movie takes us way back to when she just first started out, and it stars Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Helmsworth, and Tom Burke, Alicia Brown, and George Miller directed it. So now the one biggest complaint I heard about this was that it was a lot more CGI in here than normal, and I think that pretty much can be solved by the simple fact that I don't think insurance companies are in a real big hurry to to insure George Miller's movies because he has lost people on his movies and had several people injured. That costs a lot of money. One of the reasons why a movie like this doesn't do all that well is because they do pay out, studios do pay out an enormous amount of insurance for their star and production. So that has to get paid. So I think George Miller went back to using CGI a little bit more than he's used to. And while the fans picked up on that, you really can't blame him too much. So I'm looking forward to it. It looks cool. All right. And last but not least, on the Blu-rays, we finally found a copy of The Fall Guy. Colt Seavers. That's right. Colt Seavers. This is Ryan. This is Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Man, I just can't get over how weird that arm looks wrapped around Ryan Gosling. That's her. That's just her. It looks weird. That's a weird picture right there. Definitely probably AI. So this movie did not do very well. Came out. Ryan Gosling had all that momentum from Barbie. Emily Blunt, had who's an A-lister as well, and it was directed by David Leitch. I mean, it was a good cast and crew, but the fact of the matter is, I just don't think anybody cared about it. Nobody was sitting there jumping up and down saying, "Yeah, we need to see a Fall Guy movie," and I think that's what really happened to this movie. I just don't. You're talking about a series it came out in the '80s. I think it ran 4 to 5 seasons. It was okay. It was fair to Midland. It had its moments, but it wasn't one of those beloved classic series that people talk about. I never heard anybody come to me and say, "Hey, you ever watched The Fall Guy?" It's something that maybe an older audience might click and watch it if it's on TV. But as far as the young people go, I didn't really. They're probably going like, "Who? Colt who? Lee who?" Now, of course, that being said, I do know that if you say, "Well, yeah, it's the one with the hot babe walking through the door in the blue bikini," they'll probably know that. They probably know Heather Thomas. Uh, I don't know how good this is. I've heard mixed emotions. This is the extended version cut. It has the extended cut and the theatrical version. In other words, it's the Snyder cut and the theatrical version. Has over an hour of action-packed bonus features. That's a bonus. That's a plus for this movie. For an hour's worth of special features, sign me up. All right, and that's it. One more from the library, and that is what we got from M. Night Shyamalan, and we got Watchers. Again, this is another movie that I heard mixed emotions about. Some people liked it, some people did not. I had a feeling I was going to like this because it has Dakota Fanning in it. I like the Fanning sisters, and I like Abigail Breslin. I think those three are super bright and very talented, and I enjoy watching their movies. So I'm going to give this one a shot. For a quarter, right? So I've heard, like I said, I've heard some good things about this, and I'm looking forward to watching it. This is like some people said, M. Night's back to his form, which means he makes some really good movies. There wasn't any super secret, like twisty ending like he normally feels like he has to put in his movies. He just played it straight. The movie just followed its natural conclusion, which is really important because you don't want to get stereotyped. And every time M. Night Shyamalan movie comes out, people immediately start thinking about the twist ending, and that's terrible. And I do hope that this movie has a good ending, because it's one thing I say about M. Night Shyamalan. He is a horrible closer. He cannot close his movies worth shit. He's like the Stephen King of moviedom. Stephen King cannot write an ending to save his life, and Shyamalan, as a late, cannot close a movie to save his life. And that really hurts because, you go there and watch 80% of the movie. It's awesome. It's great. Like, I love Unbreakable. That's my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie. But I gotta tell you, that last 10 minutes was just like, it was dog shit for what it was. It was like so disappointing. Still a great movie though, up to that point. But wow, it's just, he's sort of like George Lucas. He got really lucky with Star Wars, and after that, it just fell off the cliff. and that's sort of like with M. Night Shyamalan. He got really big with The Sixth Sense, and then after that, it just he just couldn't close this. He couldn't close the deal. So like I said, I've heard mixed emotions. So we'll see. Um, all right. Next, I picked up a third season of a series I never watched. I've never seen this series, but I know a lot of my friends, older friends who are in the 80s, they loved it and they talk about it. And when I saw the third season floating, looking back at me, I grabbed it, and that is Boy Meets World. The only thing I know about this show right here, and I know that William Daniels was in it. He played the teacher. So I'm a big William Daniels fan, so I know who that is. I guess the girl is Topanga. It's Danielle Fishel. So yeah, that's her right there, Danielle Fishel. She's supposed to be really cute, but I've never seen this one before. So I know that one of the guys, I do believe, went on to star in. I'm trying to think of who it is. Ryder Strong, I think his name is Ryder Strong. I could be wrong about that, but he starred in the original Cabin Fever. All right. By now, you haven't heard me mention the centerpiece. Honestly, I think the centerpiece for this is going to probably be the Brian Cox book. But like I said, I know you guys aren't here for that, so I don't have any centerpieces for movie wise. I got one more thing to show you. But the only reason I got this was because it was so cheap. It's sort of funny. It's like, maybe I'll watch it when I get the whole collection. It was just staring at me, and it was bag sale, so I went and grabbed it anyway. Not really a big fan of it, except for Michael Imperioli. And I picked up the 6th season of The Sopranos. So this is the 6th season, part 1. Wow, did they actually do that? Wow. So they split the season up, I guess, in 2. And so half the season was here, and half the season, the other half is right here. Okay. Most of the Sopranos I've seen clips off of YouTube. I know it's a very, very bloody series. It has no redeeming characters in it. Nothing but blood and guts and gore and all that. It's crime pays, whatever. The only thing I hear people say that it's really good is I've commented on this is they mentioned that the guy who plays Paulie, I don't know his real name is his name Paulie, and then Michael Imperioli, their characters, Christopher and Paulie, they're supposed to be like the comedy relief of the series. I have seen the scene where Christopher has this car accident, and Tony James Gandolfini, yeah, that was a heartbreaking moment. That was really, really sad. I have to admit that one. But like I said, I generally, as a rule, I don't really watch these type of shows. But for such a cheap price, I went ahead and did it anyway. I don't know if I'll ever even watch it. It's probably just going to take up shelf space. But I don't know. I mean, anybody's a big Soprano fan, I guess you can tell me in the comments down below is if it's worth taking a look at the Sopranos. It's sort of funny because there's 3 major shows that came out around the same time: Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy, and Sopranos. All pretty much glorifying crime in some way or another. Crime and guns, I guess. I don't mind that sort of action if there's an equal side to it. If there's law enforcement, like I don't think that's the case in The Sopranos. I don't know. I'm rambling now, but that's because I'm sleepy. So good shape. So anyway, if you've seen any of Boy Meets Girl or Boy Meets World or Sopranos, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. All right, let me get out of here. I've already spent 15 minutes for only like a handful of movies. Yikes. All right, we'll talk at you soon.